So I just went to this cafe and it's new, and I was really shocked because the worker just suddenly popped up, and like, I guess if he was like average looking I wouldn't have been so in shock, but he was so cute. Okay, anyway, let's get into this. So hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Anna. I hope that you're having an amazing day, and as you can tell by the title of this video, I'm going through it right now, and this is roughly around the time that any expat starts to go through the ringer of is this the right choice? How long should I actually live abroad? Can I live abroad forever? Can I be a forever expat? These are just some of the questions that have been coming through my mind, and I just wanted to talk to you guys about them, especially if you're planning on coming out to South Korea or just plan on living abroad, and just some things to think about or even to contemplate now if you are living abroad that maybe you haven't thought about. So without further ado, let's kind of jump into it. So if you're new to this channel, a little background knowledge on my whole story. So I am from America, specifically New Jersey, and I moved to South Korea about 5-ish months ago. It'll be 5 months this weekend, and I have loved it, and there have been hard times and there have been amazing times. And I moved here to teach English as a foreign language, and I enjoy my job. I love my students. I am so grateful for the school and the co-teachers that I have. But that doesn't mean that any of this has come without a cost. And if I'm honest, it didn't really kind of hit me until this weekend prior. My sister, I'm the oldest of 3 siblings, and my youngest sister, the baby of the family, recently turned 16. Happy birthday, belated birthday, Vic. I didn't realize how much it would hurt to not be there for certain events like a Sweet 16. Now, I've never personally been like really close-knit with my family, just my personality type. I've been really independent my whole life. And I have missed certain events because of school or just a conflict of schedule. But I usually try to make it to the big events. And so missing my sister's Sweet 16, it really hit me that there are going to be major life events that I might not be able to make if I continue to live abroad long term. And what does that mean? How does that make me feel? And does the weight of that kind of bring down this whole living abroad experience over the benefits, right? And so when this happened, I FaceTimed in and I was able to see like a big part of her ceremony, but I couldn't help but still feel on the outside. I mean, obviously, because I'm living like 5 million kajillion miles away in a whole different time zone. Yeah, it didn't feel right. And because of that, it has made me reconsider, how long do I want to stay abroad? Am I going to miss my sister's like engagement or my brother's engagements and weddings? Am I going to miss my best friend's weddings? Am I going to possibly miss funerals of people? You know, God forbid, but that's just like the kind of way life is, right? That this is one of the payments that you have to make while choosing to be an expat, especially in a job that doesn't afford you the flexibility of always being able to fly back home and the affordability, right? Because it's not like it's $300, $400, it's more like $1,000 plus to fly back to where I'm from. And so, honestly, this is one of the payments. Another thing that I have considered is professionally, right? So for some people, this is a temporary kind of little romantic flicker in living abroad and trying a different career out and trying to kind of, you know, figure out what's next, right? For some people. And for other people, this is just a stepping stone in maybe a career as an English foreign language teacher if this is your jam. And for even other people, this is just a temporary fix to get to a place where they can be maybe freelancers here or digital nomads of some type, right? AKA YouTuber, blogger, content creator of some sort, okay? And for me, I came into this within the first month. I thought, that's it, I'm gonna stay here forever, gonna try to get into entertainment and this, and that, right? I had this whole like 5-year plan. And as the months have tacked on, I've started to consider, is this really what I want, or am I caught up in the glitz and glamour of what it means to be an expat, a forever expat, and how luxurious it is? And I have to be honest and say that I don't know. And to be fair, like I said, I've only been here for 5 months. My mind could completely switch in like 2 more months, and that's kind of life, right? But at this point in time, what I can say is that I have a 2-year plan, and from there, at 2 years, it's time to reevaluate if this is going to be a path I continue to go on, or is it time for me to kind of return back home and figure it out from there, maybe graduate school or going back into education or using my English degree to some degree. Yeah, so another thing you have to think about is professionalism, because if you want to be a lifer here, there is a pay cap and there is a kind of scale cap. There's only so far you can go within the English native teacher field. There are international schools you can look into if you have a teaching degree and certificate and the right number of years of experience, but they are extremely competitive. And on top of that, most places tend to favor spouses of those who are already working there. Nepotism in full force. And so that is something to consider. If you have a master's degree in Korea, at least you can teach at the college level. And I mean, that's the same in America, but it's not the same as being an adjunct professor as you would be in America. So that is another thing to consider. A third thing that has been on my mind is kind of this false security, right? So the perks of my job is that I have this apartment, this amazing 1-room apartment that is paid for. All I do is pay utilities. I get health insurance, I get a salary, and honestly this salary is enough where I can do what I want and not really worry about money. Now, because I want to save, I try to budget accordingly, but overall, I would say that this is a very comfortable salary for one person. And so there's this false sense of security, right? Because if you look, or at least when I look at my friends back home, not everyone is obviously in the same kind of spot. Some people are still living at home. Some people have bought their first home if they're, lucky enough and financially stable enough. But the post-grad reality of America is something that is honestly really quite anxiety-inducing. You go to school for 4 years, you put in a lot of money that you probably didn't think about at age 18 into a degree that you may or may not use, and then you have to hunt for a job that requires you to have 5 years of experience, a bachelor's degree, and then pays you $20 an hour. It just doesn't add up. And the cost of living, especially where I'm from, is extremely high, and yes, I could move somewhere else cheaper, but I then sacrifice the connections, the network, the entertainment of living somewhere like the tri-state area. Living here, there is this kind of like safety blanket, right? You know you can get a job and that you have one. You have a place, a roof over your head, you can afford groceries, you can travel if you really want to. There is enough money there to do all the things you kind of really want to do and feel comfortable with. It's a comfortable, middle class existence here. And it's something that's not easy to give up when you don't know what's going to happen next, because for the majority of people, moving back to America will mean this kind of temporary period of unemployment. For how long? Who knows, right? But there is this false sense of security that ties you here, but it's almost like you're fake adulting. because there are things you don't have to worry about simply because you're a foreigner. And I don't know if that's hindering my growth as a person or benefiting me to give me the chance to maybe kind of figure out other stuff, like what I want to do for the rest of my life. And this third payment is kind of like this weird limbo, right? Where you're in this settled place, but are you really kind of progressing in like adult things as you would had you stayed in your home country? And the kind of last thing that's really hard that is just life as an expat is kind of being on the outside. Now, this might be just particular to Korea. I'm not exactly sure, but through my experience, yes, you can make Korean friends. Speaking Korean will definitely help you, and there are Koreans who can speak English pretty fluently. However, there is this kind of outsider mentality, right? Like even the word 외국 literally means like foreigner. Like there is no integration the way there would be in America, right? If you move to America and you become a citizen, you are now American, right? There is no kind of, yes, you would say, oh, like I immigrated here, but overall your identity can still be American. Like Puerto Rican American. Puerto Rico's a part of America, Anna. Like Peruvian American, African American, right? You can still tie American into that identity, but you can't really do that here. You are forever an outsider, and this is a societal kind of construct and issue overall, because Korea has been so isolated for so many years and is now just opening up and gaining this immigrant population, this expat population. But it's something that you have to consider. The people that you move here with are 100% or at least 90% not going to be here in 4 or 5 years time if you continue to stay here for that amount of time. And like I said, I've only been here for 5 months. I could meet someone tomorrow and they're going to be my life partner and I end up staying here. I don't know. But there is this kind of outsider feeling that you're gonna always have to contend with. And this assumption, and I'm not fluent in Korean, but there are plenty of foreigners who are pretty conversationally fluent who continually have to fight to kind of be seen as like, I can speak your language, please speak to me in Korean, I'm speaking to you in Korean. And there's just this barrier where they just assume you know nothing. And that you just are here for a year or two and that's that. And I'm overgeneralizing, yes. There are definitely Koreans who are super open-minded and have lived abroad and have this experience of this like multicultural kind of living, right? But overall, I would say there is this kind of outside feeling, and it honestly can't be helped because of how homogenous the country is currently. So if that is something that really does affect you, this kind of outsider feeling, then it might be something that you might want to consider as kind of this permanency of living here in South Korea, at least as a foreigner. And it's not to say that this overshadows any of the positive parts of living abroad. I will do a video on that, but it's hard. It's hard, and I think the hardest one is definitely number one, missing out on stuff with my family and friends, and potentially missing really important life events simply because I can't go back. But I want to hear your thoughts if you're living abroad. What is the hardest part for you about living in another country away from your family, or even just cross country if that's you? And let me know some tips down below, because I've gotten some and I'm always open to more feedback and anyone who knows more than I do on this subject. But I hope that you're having an amazing week, and I hope this wasn't too much of a downer, but I appreciate you so much for watching, sticking through to the end. Remember, if you're not subscribed, press that red subscription button down below. It would mean the world to me that you follow along on this amazing journey with me, and give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it. If you want me to do a best parts of living abroad video, definitely comment down below. And yeah, follow me on Instagram if you're not. My handle will be somewhere here. I post pretty regularly and I really love Instagram stories, so if you want to see daily life in Korea content, definitely go there. And that's all I got, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next one. Bye!